Hello tubers, it's me again. I'm working on a portrait, sweet young girl, and it's a commissioned work. But I got this question the other day if I used the paint straight from the tube, and yeah, I do. I do basically work quite dry. I don't mix in much medium. So that is what I talk a little bit about in this short video. I'm working with all these, I'm gonna work with all these details. I see the colors are quite different from yellows and stuff. It's something with the lights. I don't really know why it becomes like that in the video. But anyway, so just a short video about how I use the color and how I put it on. So it just answers that question. So remember to share my videos on YouTube, on your social media, and put my videos into your playlist so other people see them and enjoy life and painting and everything, because it's short and brutal and lovable and everything. Yes, thank you. So, I'm starting up this today. It has dried and are ready for a new layer. And I just got a question the other day. If I paint dry, just from the tube, and mostly that is exactly what I do. I don't mix in so much color, now so much medium. You see, I go over it here with some bluish colors, to just like this. I prefer to use the color more directly from the tube. And when I start to work with the next layer, after I put in this lasur, as I say, I do like this before I start. I just basically go in paint very dry. It's a good idea not to paint too fat, to have too much oil in it, because it can actually become way too oily and also crack actually later, I've been told. I will of course be dead then. I'm gone for a very long time, and it won't be my problem, it will be the conservatives' problem. But anyway, I don't want to make their job harder than I have to, so I try to do it correctly. As you see now, I do this to kind of tone everything down, and then I take my take this one and just scratch up away some of the oil, and I can take a cloth or a piece of paper, and I just remove some of it, like in the highlights. The important thing, I think, is to make the color for an oily thing to kind of fall into the cracks, so you see the texture, so you kind of get a more a surface that are more alive to work on. And what I do is I just start with the lights again, And since there is now both blue and reddish in on the canvas already, I don't need to use any. There's also a little bit of medium left. Most of it dries because it's 70% turpentine and 30% the cooked linseed oil. So most of it just evaporates. So I can just start. You see now it's kind of, it's hard to say. I do go over the whole thing, but it tend to the colors that are already there now mixes up with the colors I put on, and the surface becomes a little bit dynamic and natural. You see, I kind of drag. You see here is the chin, the bone has to be a little darker than the light, so this is how I do it. And I do this procedure, I do this again and again and again, many times before the end or before it's finished. Because every time I do this, I'm going a little bit further with the details in the eyes and the details and the shape and the shadow, so I just keep building layer upon layer upon layer, and I'm thinking directions, points of light, and in a way I think as it is a sculpture. So that is what I do. I don't use so much medium in my paint. I don't, unless I do these lasure or very thin layers of paint, which I just kind of put in all in the end of the painting process. It can be a little bit more medium in it when you get all the way up to the end of the painting process of the image. So that was just a question I got. I will of course post a full video of the painting process of this painting when it's finished. And it's a commissioned work of a young girl, beautiful girl, and I'm multitasking. I'm working on many pictures at the same time, so the customer is getting a little bit impatient, so I need to get it finished. You see, I also put some in here, and there are shadows that are coming in here, so I will build a lot of the shadows falling from the white there and up there. So there's going to be a lot of things happening in this painting when I reach to the finished. Beautiful dress, all the different. Now when I put on white, now there are already some reddish colors in here, and I can also see there are some yellows. So since there are already blue and a little bit of red in that lasure, the yellow or the broken yellow I put in now becomes a little bit more vivid, because it is a complementary contrast. Yeah, that was the wrong color though, but it doesn't matter now. but you're gonna see how I evolve it. So this was just a short video about medium and how I put on the color. I use, as I say, the different colors. I mix a little bit, but I usually just use the medium as a way to actually clean the brush. So the medium that is actually left in, because there's always some medium left in the brush, goes into the color. And in the end, when you paint for a long time, of course, the painting process in itself will put it in. But you don't need to do this, and you take a medium and you mix like this, and you try to find the right color. You just keep going. You just keep building, try to get into a flow, and you just keep building and building and building. And in the end, you're gonna understand how it works, and it's gonna be a fluid process for you. This painting is going to be a little bit difficult because it's quite reddish and yellowish, so I have a fight there, but let's see what happens. Okay.